Hi everyone and welcome to my presentation. My name is Alexa Carman. My topic was Joseph McCarthy and McCarthyism. My question was, what is it, who is he, and why is he and McCarthyism important, and what does it have to do with justice? Joseph McCarthy was born on November 14, 1908 in Appleton, Wisconsin, to a Roman Catholic family. At the age of 14, McCarthy dropped out of school but soon returned to finish in 1928. Soon after, he was accepted into Marquette University and studied law. Throughout McCarthy's life, he was involved in several unsuccessful law practices. He got himself involved with gambling for extra money. Originally, McCarthy was a Democratic but soon switched over to the Republican Party because he was overlooked as a candidate in the Democrat Party for district attorney. In 1942, McCarthy joined the Marine Corps, where he became an intelligence briefing officer for a dive bomber squadron. In 1946, after returning home from the Marine Corps, McCarthy ran for U.S. Senate. But in order to win, he used propaganda and inaccurate accusations against his competition, Robert L. Fontell, Jr. On February 9, 1950, McCarthy gave a speech to the Republican Women's Club of Wheeling, West Virginia. He had claimed that he had a list of 250 people in the State Department who were known members of the American Communist Party. Because of this speech, it resulted in an extreme amount of press attention and made McCarthy one of the most recognized politicians in the United States. During McCarthy's time in the justice system, he became the chairperson of the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee of Investigations. For the next 2 years, he investigated various government departments and questioned many witnesses about their suspected communist affiliations. This time period became known as the Red Scare No. 2. The HUAC, better known as the House Un-American Activities Committee, was created in 1938. This was a congressional way of showing the people that they were out to save them and protect them against the communists. What they would do was call people out in front of Congress and grill them until they proved that they were not involved in the Communist Party. HUAC was later associated with Joseph McCarthy, which was referred to as McCarthyism. McCarthyism is defined as a voice for his campaign against communists in the United States government and other institutions carried out under Senator Joseph McCarthy in the period of 1950 to 1954. Many of the accused were blacklisted and lost their jobs, although most of them were not involved in the Communist Party. McCarthy claimed that he knew that there were people inside the government that were communists. He stated all of this just to regain election as United States Senator. This political cartoon was in the Washington Post and created by Herbert Black on March 29, 1950. It was supposed to be of an elephant, which is said to stand for the Republican Party, being pushed by Republicans. They were trying to get him to stand on a platform that is being held up by shaking tar buckets. In October of 1953 is when McCarthy had his downfall. McCarthy gets into a free-for-all of accusing everyone of being a communist. In April of 1954, McCarthy's hearing was broadcasted on live television, the American Broadcasting Company network, where the public could hear and view everything firsthand. Here is where he accused Army officials of being communist sympathizers. One in particular was an attorney of the Army, Joseph Welch. McCarthy said that Welch had an employee in his law firm who had belonged to an organization that had been accused of communist sympathies. Welch's response to this was, "Have you no sense of decency, sir?" On December 2, 1954, the United States Senate voted to condemn Senator McCarthy by a vote of 67 to 22. On May 2, 1957, at the age of 48, McCarthy died in Maryland. It was said that he died of hepatitis acute, but the true cause is really unknown. It was said that he could have died from alcohol intake because he did consume a lot. I would have to say that Joseph McCarthy was important because he made a name for himself. He was an aggressive man that was very supportive of anti-communist, and because of that, McCarthyism was born. He inspired people to write books like Arthur Miller in the writing of his play The Crucible. This play was said to draw parallels to contemporary McCarthyism. He was able to expose hundreds of people that might have possibly destroyed America. McCarthyism was so important because it showed us as a nation just how defenseless we are when we are frightened. McCarthyism represents a mass movement of anti-communism. McCarthyism was so important because it showed us as a nation just how defenseless we are when we are frightened. McCarthyism represents a mass movement of anti-communism. Joseph McCarthy worked for the government. He was a United States Republican senator. McCarthy was also an attorney. He served 3 years as a circuit judge from 1940 to 1942. McCarthyism branches also HUVAC, which was a government committee that also exposed communist activities in the government. Overall, Joseph McCarthy was a person, and he tried to help the government as best as he thought he could.